fundamentals for copper in particular are overwhelming. You know, the majors, even the gold companies, are now clamoring to get their hands on copper deposits. So fundamentals are overwhelmingly strong. This temporary dip in the market, as you said, I've been through it. Lots of your other listeners here will have been through market cycles. It always comes back. And when it comes back, nobody rings the bell to say this is the bottom.
Yeah.
You take advantage of the dips, build a position, look for high quality exploration projects. And I'm certainly offering one of these. I'm excited, and I hope other people can get as excited as I am about this project.
Red Cloud Financial Services is your preeminent source for mining industry opportunities. The team provides a unique tailored marketing program dedicated to reaching the right people from its mining-focused global network, giving clients access to industry-leading events and conferences, retail and institutional marketing, plus an in-house growth-driven digital agency. Red Cloud Financial Services has access to some of the mining industry's most notable companies and CEOs. For more information, visit redcloudfs.com.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Digging Deeper. It's a real pleasure to catch up with Lawrence Roulston. Many of you will know Lawrence. He's been in the mining industry, and as mainly, if you might remember him, as a newsletter writer as well, but he's had many roles, many hats for decades, well known, and certainly in this area that we're going to be talking to about. We've got MTB Metals, Golden Triangle, Gold Story. We've got lots to learn and lots to hear about Mountain or MTB. Hello, Lawrence. It's great to catch up with you again.
Great to be back with you again, Andrew.
So I actually had the privilege of speaking to your geologist a couple of years ago at VRIC, and actually did an interview with them. So I know a little bit about the story, but it's just great, that gives me kind of a leg up. But it's great to be able to catch up with you and hear you're the CEO of what's happening, where you guys are at, what's the summer having in store for you?
Well, Andrew, a lot has happened over the last couple of years on the project. And you'll remember, and your listeners may remember, we're looking for a porphyry copper gold deposit in the northern part of the Golden Triangle. We're very close to 4 world-class deposits that have already been discovered, delineated. One of them's already in production, all being advanced by major mining companies. So we've got exactly the same geology as those 4 world-class deposits. And, the first question that comes to mind is, well, you've got all those majors up there poking around. How did they miss what you think you've got? And the simple answer is fragmented ownership. We've got reports and documents from at least 50 different companies that have explored what is now our Telegraph property. They were each looking at little bits and pieces. There are 35 recorded min-file occurrences on what is now our property. So when I instructed our team, 3 years ago, to go out and secure property in the Golden Triangle, because this area is really coming along, we dug all those old reports out, we put it all together, we looked for the first time at the big picture geologically, and we really liked what we saw. So we set off, we consolidated the ground, and what we're seeing, it's not 35 separate occurrences, it's one humongous geological system. And there were 2 holes drilled in 2014 by one of the previous operators. And those holes prove there's a porphyry there, but the grades were sub-economic. So the first thing we did when we got on site, we went up and we looked at the drill core, which is still out there, and we went through it. And it's very clear to our geological team that those holes are on the periphery of a porphyry system. And so we spent the next 2 years looking around, trying to find the heart of the system. We found it. We're ready to drill it. We're ready to test it.
Yeah, that's exciting. When I hear that you've got points that you're going to test, and I see that you've raised $2 million too, so you've got money. So you're going into the field, but you think you found the heart of this beast. And a porphyry system, I mean, if many people will know, and if you don't, these are huge systems. They often take a lot of money, but they are massive. For you to feel like you've got some targets that are that promising, that does mean quite a bit.
Yeah, exactly. And it's not, you know, we've applied the best geoscience available to advance this project. We've got some of the top experts in the world that are helping us interpret this. We've got the results of all those previous explorers. And then on top of that, once we knew we were peripheral, we started looking around. And we found an area where we're finding copper on surface, percent values and better, up to 19% copper on surface over an area of multiple square kilometers. And not surprisingly, it sits right on what used to be a property line. So neither the company to the north or the company to the south paid much attention because it was right on their property line. Now, once we consolidated it and we started seeing those kind of copper numbers on surface, we really focused on that area. And we've sampled it, we've mapped it. We did a big IP, induced polarization geophysical survey last year. And we found a huge chargeability anomaly, a very intense chargeability anomaly that exactly aligns with the areas that we're seeing the copper grades. But in addition, we've got magnetics, hyperspectral analysis, shortwave infrared spectroscopy. We're doing alteration mapping, structural mapping. We've done everything, every tool available we've applied, and they're all pointing to this area as being the center of a very large porphyry system.
And I could add in here that, I mean, there's very few people, even analysts included, that would have the understanding of that area as you do. I mean, like I said, you know this area intimately well. I mean, the whole Golden Triangle, this is something you've talked about for decades. You know it all. So when you think you've got something, that sounds good, but also the fact that, I mean, geology is your passion as well. And seeing the amount of precision and detail you guys are putting to this project with the 2 holes that you already have, this is sounding quite interesting.
Well, yeah, and look, I don't claim to be a real geologist. You know, my background is geology. I'm passionate about it, but the team in the field, these are the guys that really make it happen. And these people have worked in the triangle for years or even decades. They know the area. They know exactly what to look for, and they've gone out and they've looked for it and they found it. And you know, I'm just sort of overseeing this. I'm excited. I'm very, very excited about it. This is the most exciting exploration project I've come across in 40 years in this industry. You know, to have all of these variables so closely aligned anywhere would make it an exciting exploration target. But to have that overlying the same geology as 4 world-class deposits right in the same area, I can't imagine a more compelling drill target. So we're looking forward to getting drilling, which will happen soon.
And you were talking about there's some of the majors up there. They've invested quite a bit into just 2 of the mine operations. Maybe you could tell us a little bit about some of the majors up there, because people like to know, okay, well, who's up there if they're not already aware of the Golden Triangle. It's nice to know some of the majors that are poking around, doing some work, and also mining.
Well, Teck has been up there for decades. They've got 2 major projects. Newmont is there in a big way, and that's really significant. Now, overall, the majors have invested over the last 3 years in the Golden Triangle $5 billion. A very, very substantial investment from the majors. Big biggest part of that is Newcrest, which is Australia's largest gold producer. And the merger that's about to happen between Newmont and Newcrest has a very substantial Golden Triangle component. 20% of Newcrest production comes out of the triangle. They're in the process of expanding one of their mines that will boost their production up there by 50%. And Newmont has 2 large-scale development projects in that same area. So Golden Triangle is going to be a very important part of the pending merger between Newmont and Newcrest. And very important, zeroing in on one of those projects, there was a junior called GT Gold. They went public in 2017. They explored a property that looks very much like our Telegraph project. 4 years later, they were taken over by Newmont in a transaction valued at $420 million. That's 40 times the current market value of MTB Metals. So it gives an indication of the upside potential of success in a region like this.
Yes.
And so the companies, the majors that are not in the area, and they all want a piece of it, because it is definitely emerging as an important global mining region. So the majors that aren't there, the only way they can get involved is through a company like MTB Metals. Every square meter of worthwhile geology is held by somebody. And we're one of the biggest property holders in the district. And we have a very, very exciting project. So the majors that aren't there are looking for a way to get involved. And one of the ways is through a company like MTB Metals. So it's an exciting time for us.
I always liken junior mining companies to kind of like the R&D, and none of the majors go out and do any R&D anymore. They let all the juniors go find stuff and they come buy them out. But when you're talking about a porphyry, though, I mean, that can be pretty expensive for a company, because I mean, a lot of people say if they're seasoned, they might think, oh my God, you're going to be drilling $40 million, $20 million, thousands of holes, because sometimes they can be very extensive systems, these porphyry ones. Is there any way to mitigate that, or what's the strategy for dealing with that?
Well, we've got a very clear strategy, which is very simply to follow in the path of GT Gold. So they had a 4-year program. We're heading into the 3rd year of a very comparable program. We're financed for this year's drill program, and to the extent that we find what we deeply believe is there, we don't think it's going to be hard to find enough financing to do another year of drilling. And if we get through that, we'll be in a position where the majors are going to be fighting over us. I'm dreaming a little bit here. My QP would shoot me for this, but look, the majors are watching closely, and if we start to see what we believe is there and what other people believe is there, the majors are going to be very, very interested. So we're right now, the team are in the field. They've got an XRF device with them. They've got a SWIR, shortwave infrared spectroscopy device that does alteration mapping. We'll get real-time readouts on copper content, on alteration geochemistry, day by day as the team's in the field. All of that work right now is fine-tuning the drill plan. We know the area that we want to drill. We want to make sure those first few holes are aimed and located as precisely as we can possibly make it. So that's our objective over the next 3 weeks, and then we start drilling.
So I mean, obviously you're going to have lots of news, and it's great to have those guns as well, because although they don't really work with gold, they're going to give you a ton of guidance for the copper. And I mean, some of the numbers you're mentioning, I mean, it's copper that is absolutely mind-blowing, and that alone, I mean, people are starting to figure out how desperately we need copper. Never mind the gold story as well. So it's going to be exciting to see the next few weeks how things come about when you start solidifying everything, and you get actually poking at some of these holes.
Absolutely. Look, we're going to have news flow between now and the start of drilling. from this project, and we have 5 other projects. And in fact, drilling conducted by our joint venture partner, one of the other projects, drilling has already been completed. We're awaiting assays on one of our secondary projects. So there's definitely going to be news flow. And the other part of it is, look, we all know right now that market conditions are terrible. And our response to that is we need to try twice as hard, 5 times as hard to get the message out there. We've got a phenomenal project here. And as much as the market conditions are terrible, there are people out there that are smart enough to know that you buy low. You buy at the low point in the market cycle like now. And a story like ours with a very, very high quality exploration project is the kind of story that these people are looking for. So it's going to be a slog to find them. We're going to put in the effort. We're going to find those investors. We're building an audience so that as we get results from the drill program, people understand the significance of the drill results as they come out.
I'm glad you brought that up, because I was going to just ask you, I mean, because you've got such a wealth of experience. You've seen it from every angle, especially in mining, over a long period of time, that, you know, it is a difficult time. It's a tough market. So I'm glad you kind of said, you know, that you're obviously very aware of that, but you also come with a following. And like I said, you've seen every good, bad, sideways market out there, that I'm sure if you deliver any sniff of positive that you're hoping to get, not only your own following, but other people will quickly jump on, because even in a tough market, people recognize if there's an opportunity.
Well, absolutely, absolutely. And look, the fundamentals for copper in particular are overwhelming. You know, the majors, even the gold companies, are now clamoring to get their hands on copper deposits. So fundamentals are overwhelmingly strong. This temporary dip in the market, as you said, I've been through it. Lots of your other listeners here will have been through market cycles. It always comes back. And when it comes back, nobody rings the bell to say this is the bottom.
Yeah.
You take advantage of the dips, build a position, look for high quality exploration projects. And I'm certainly offering one of these. I'm excited. And I hope other people can get as excited as I am about this project.
And like I said, what's great is the sense of urgency, is that you've got an opportunity and you're pretty close to there. I mean, you're going to start getting some sniffs and some ideas and some hits in the next weeks and months ahead from the gun and whatever news releases you have out there. So people should pay attention and keep an eye on it to see what news flow is coming out from you guys.
That's right. And look, Andrew, I really appreciate the chance to talk with you and to share this message with your followers.
We really appreciate it, Lawrence. We're looking forward to seeing anything that comes out from you guys. We love the Golden Triangle. We love that area. And we're really looking forward to the big mining boom. Hopefully that's coming, that everyone's also waiting for, but also to see some good results from your project as well.
Okay, we'll keep you posted, Andrew.
Wonderful. Take care, Lawrence.